Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm going to do not a Senate prediction video tonight, but more of a Senate primary preview. Because on May 17th, I'm recording this on May 13th, the Pennsylvania will hold its primary election, and it will nominate the Democratic and Republican candidate for its open United States Senate seat, currently held by Republican incumbent Pat Toomey, who won the seat in 2010, re-elected in 2016, and is retiring from office. So this has created an open seat. Obviously, in 2016, Donald Trump won the state of Pennsylvania. In 2020, Joe Biden won Pennsylvania, and it was pretty much the deciding state in his victory. It was one of the keys to President Biden's victory overall in the election. And it was very close in 2016 and was very close in 2020. And the Senate race in 2016 was extremely close as well. Toomey is regarded as a very conservative member of Congress, but one is also seen as being able to work across the aisle and more bipartisan in nature. Originally, in this race, Donald Trump endorsed a candidate by the name of Sean Parnell, who lost a 2020 House race to Conor Lamb. He had to drop out of the race due to some domestic violence allegations in his past. Some court records of his that come unsealed pretty much made his campaign untenable. So, Parnell drops out. That obviously means the Trump endorsement's up for grabs. And Dave McCormick, who is a former hedge fund manager, David McCormick, and Mehmet Oz really were the two that jumped out as the most likely to get Trump's endorsement. McCormick has a ton of advisors and staff members on his campaign and endorsements from a long list of Trump officials and prominent conservatives in the Senate. So McCormick looked like an obvious choice for Trump's endorsement, and also really sought it out and tried to portray himself as a Trump type conservative, despite his background. Mehmet Oz, the reality TV show doctor, also lined up a long list of prominent conservative endorsements. And in the end, Donald Trump endorsed Mehmet Oz, and this set off a lot of recrimination among some Trump officials and prominent supporters. So, and Oz and McCormick have been really close in the polls, and it's been really, really dirty in the campaign. Well, that allowed someone I've not mentioned yet, by the name of Kathy Barnett, to come in. And she had surged late, especially since the breaking news out of Politico at the beginning of May about the Supreme Court's preliminary decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. She claims in her speeches that her mother was raped as an 11-year-old and that she is the living, breathing outcome of that rape. And that is why she is totally pro-life in all circumstances. And she has received endorsements from prominent conservative, independent, outside dark money groups, um, and several prominent conservatives who had stayed on the sideline previously endorsed Miss Barnett. The thing is, she has a real, like, unclear background, not been well vetted, and really surged late. So there's not a lot known about her. But what is known about her is very concerning if you're a Republican, because it paints a picture of a candidate who is potentially unelectable. And if you're a Republican, official looking at this race, you see Barnett get the nomination, a race that you could have felt comfortable about holding. Not only does it become a chance for a Democratic pickup, but it also, like, becomes a race you're going to have to invest a lot of time and money in, and possibly may have to abandon if these allegations about her past become just overwhelming. So on the Republican side, all of the polls indicate it's a three-way heat. I have no idea how this is going to go. Up till a few days ago, I thought that Oz was probably going to pull it off relatively easy. After we saw what he did for J.D. Vance in Ohio, I was of the opinion that Trump's endorsement in federal races was the marker. That's all that mattered. With Barnett's rise and how Republican primaries in the past have played out, where the sure thing ended up losing and it cost them a Senate seat, that is very possible in this race. On the Democratic side, the race at the beginning of the year really looked like it was going to be between it's going to be Connor Lamb and John Fetterman, and also Malcolm Kinjani, and I hope I'm saying that right, and if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize, a young state representative from Philadelphia. And they were, all had their voters they appealed to and core constituencies. But most people thought that it was going to be Connor Lamb that ended up prevailing, that he was the most electable. Kinjani was an exciting candidate, African American, openly gay man, just, a bright future ahead of him. And then you have Fetterman, who's the lieutenant governor, very progressive, a blue-collar man. So you have that, and he was a Bernie supporter. Fetterman has begun to run away with this, and I think he has like a 30-point lead in the latest poll that I saw. Barring a major polling collapse this weekend, and an absolute just, huge polling error, Fetterman is going to be the Democratic nominee. And I honestly, like I said, I don't make a prediction on these Senate races until, a definite sit down and look at it until the primary is over. And depending on how this one goes, it could be a while before my prediction comes out. If the primary goes in a kind of odd direction on the Republican side, I could probably have a prediction middle of July. But if it goes in a normal sense, we're probably looking at September, October before, we can have a real sense of where this race is going. So, buckle in. It's going to be an exciting night on Tuesday. There's several primaries that night and several races where Donald Trump has endorsed candidates, and it could be a big indicator of how his endorsement is going. I'm going to be interested, obviously, most of all in the Pennsylvania Senate race. But I'm also going to be looking at, let's see, it is going to be, yes, Idaho governor is that night as well. Kentucky is having their primary. North Carolina has got a primary. Madison Cawthorn race. And of course, North Carolina Senate race is one that's occurring that night as well. Oregon has their primary on the 17th. So yeah, pretty big night. And also the 24th is going to be a huge night as well. So that's my thought. Pennsylvania Senate primary preview.